Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Satisfactory. I've been AFKing a little bit on this world here so that we could get some more rotors and reinforced plates so that we can build a bunch more without having to wait all the time now. And because of that, we have a bunch of tickets, so I'm going to go on a little bit of a shopping spree here. Got a bunch of stuff in the cart already, but I still got quite a few tickets left to buy stuff with, so I'm just going to look through the store here and pick up some more stuff. Early on in the game, it's very hard for me to choose what to buy because pretty much everything is useful for building, so I always have a hard time picking what I want to get first. And I definitely don't have enough right now to get all the stuff I want, so I'm just gonna pick out the most important stuff. And once I'm done doing this, I am going to start working on cleaning up our area here and actually building some factory buildings. The first few buildings I make will probably still be pretty temporary just to get things moving along, but later on I'll tear them down and build better ones and like add the train infrastructure and stuff for them. Before I started AFKing for tickets and materials, I also made our concrete set up a little bit better, so now we have a larger storage area and there's also more constructors and the belts are upgraded. Now I'm just starting on building our first building here. This is going to be for screws, iron plates, and iron rods. We actually didn't have any of those being made purposely yet. I was just using the overflow from the storage before they go into those assemblers over there. So yeah, I just added some walls and a door and also the power hookup to the front of it. And then we're going to set up a little 2-story building here for our plates, screws, and rods. Also, since I unlocked the LCD screen things, I added those to the front here, as well as storage containers behind the conveyor walls. As you can see, underneath isn't looking too great yet, and that's because I don't have enough foundations unlocked, but once we get those unlocked, I'll add those. So in here, I just have the furnaces place and the storage place so far. And then upstairs, I'm going to put all the machines. And because I like to overflow pretty much everything extra into resource sinks, I decided to unlock the smart splitter so that I can start doing that really early and get more tickets faster. In the last world I played on my own, I learned that overflowing all the extra stuff not only keeps your power more stable because nothing shuts off and then turns on surprisingly later, but it also keeps your ticket production going really strong. So I have some smart splitters on the second floor there, and they put it all into these storage units first, and then once those are full, it'll send it up to the roof to be put into a resource sink. Now that all the machines are hooked up, I connected the miner to power so that the ore could start flowing through all that stuff. And so far in this series, I've been cutting out most of the building, but if you guys actually want to see that, I could start adding some more of that into the videos. I just figured that this early game building stuff most people are probably not interested in seeing, so I just cut most of it out and show you the updates as I get to them. And here's the roof of the building where the extra resources will get thrown into these resource sinks here. Eventually when I build a central storage area where most of the stuff's being brought to, I'll just have all my resource sinks there, but for now I'm just going to put them on the roofs of each factory building. And now that I've added a bunch of resource sinks and machines, our power was getting pretty spicy again, so I decided to start getting together the stuff to triple the amount of power that we're making right now. So I ran over to the other coal nodes that I knew about and started building another coal power plant. And because these nodes are better than the other ones I was using, I could put 16 generators here instead of 8, so here's the power plant that I ended up making. And once we get tier 2 miners and the tier 3 belts, we will be able to double the size of each of our coal power plants. I have most of them all overclocked to 200%, so technically we do more than double if I went higher than 200%, but we'll be able to get about 3600 megawatts once that happens. And that's just from the coal nodes that we're currently using. But for now, we're going to get about 1800 megawatts once all these power plants become stable. Sometimes it takes them a minute for the coal to start distributing properly, so it dropped down here for a second, but then it went back up to 1800 megawatts. So that should give us a little bit of breathing room for a while now. We also had enough tickets now to unlock the asphalt foundation material, so I grabbed that and started making the road sections that I want to build in the world. I'll most likely connect pretty much everything with road, and then also have like a train section above the road at one point as well. And here's the next building where I'm going to move the assemblers to, which is going to make us the reinforced plates, rotors, and also modular frames. I made this building extra large right now because I want to be able to expand it a little bit later, even before we tear it down to make something better later. And also just having lots of floor space is nice. It makes laying things out a lot easier. I'd say that first building I made was a little too small, but it still worked out anyways. And here's our new reinforced iron plate setup. I built one double the size of the one down below that we had earlier so that we can get enough iron plates to make the modular frames. For now, I'm just gonna run a splitter off of that top belt for the modular frames to grab from. And now we just wait for the ore to start coming into the machines. Also, I completely forgot to mention it earlier, but we are in update 7 now. I've updated since last episode. So in the next episode, my goal is going to be to set up our steel production, and then we'll be able to unlock the blueprints and start using those for our road sections instead of building them by hand. And here's our first automated modular frames. I've made a few by hand, and I've also found some near some hard drive locations, but that's about it. And now we have them being automated. Now that I had this stuff set up in here, I decided to go tear down our old setup outside, and then I just have to move the rotors into that new building as well. So I'm just gonna tear all this down and then move those over, and then all this junk out here will be gone. We will also then have to build a road over to our copper and concrete area so I can put those in buildings as well soon, because those are just still out on the sand right now, so I'd like to get those off the ground into buildings. And also now, because it's December, we have started the Fixmas stuff. If you haven't noticed the presents landing around. So I'll be collecting a bunch of those probably off camera, and then we'll start messing around with it in like the next episode or two. Now that all that was torn down, I set up the rotors, which I put on the other side of the factory building here so that we have space in the middle to expand both towards the middle if we want. We just have to finish hooking up all the power because I haven't done that yet, and then all this stuff will be ready to go. I think I also have to put in some of the recipes as well. I forgot to put some recipes into the machines. Even though these buildings aren't as nice as I would like them to be because I don't have a lot of the blocks unlocked yet, it's nice having stuff organized. All that stuff out on the desert sand was getting pretty nasty, so it's nice to have everything inside now. And also to have like storage for each item. And then I also added some resource sinks on this roof as well, so that once these storage containers fill up, it'll start dumping the stuff into these. And now that we just got 5 more tickets, I decided it was time to unlock some railings because I kept falling off these platforms. So I'm gonna end up putting railings all the way around the buildings and also along the roads as well, so I can stop walking off the edge. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab, I think, all the railings, get the industrial ones, the road barriers, and the modern railings. I was also thinking of getting stairs as well, but I'll wait for those for later, because I need to save up for the other foundation pieces I need to make the bottom of our base start looking nice. And as for foundations, I think I still have enough here for the inverted ramps, so I'm going to pick those up so I can start using those on the bottom of the road and the bottom of the buildings, which will start giving them some shape and make them not look as bland and boring as flat plains. So I'm just going to add a bunch of those ramps and stuff underneath right now, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after I've added them. And here is the result. I think it looks a lot better, and once I unlock those corner inverted ramps, it'll definitely look a lot nicer. I also forgot to add some 1 meter walls over here so that covers up that hole there in the corner, so I just add those real quick. And because I'm adding these roads and stuff like this, underneath the roads there's space for power lines and also for conveyor belts, so that'll be nice for putting stuff through there. And for everyone that made it to the end, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.